Everyone. So one of the things that I wanted to cover with you real quickly is how to set up heading styles for accessibility purposes in your Canvas course. Now, heading styles, when structured properly, can help someone navigate the content that you're putting in Canvas. So let's go ahead and take a look at the screen real quick, and this is what I'm referring to. So let's say that I have sort of like I like to think of them as Roman outlines, but let's say that I have a series of structured content on the page, and I need to set it up so that someone using screen reading software or other assistive technologies can navigate the content that I have spelled out on my page. So we're going to go ahead and explore this from, reasons why I get in trouble with my wife. So typically there are a couple things, two main areas that I get in trouble. One has to do with cleaning, and two has to do with me being a space cadet, right? So when I'm looking at this page, I need to think about what are the titles, what are the subheaders, and what is the content of the page. So we can see that the main sort of title of this page is actually Reasons Why Matt Gets in Trouble with His Wife. So that's actually the main title that I want to give to the page. And in order to do that, there's a couple of things that we have to do. You'll notice from this drop-down list right here, I have a series of heading styles. I have heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, and then there's pre-formatted and paragraph. Right now, this text is listed under, or is currently signified as paragraph text. In order and let me also say that you'll notice that there is no heading 1, right? Heading 2 is the topmost option that I get to use here in the rich content editor. So in order to create the topmost title, up here is actually the heading 1, right? That's what that space is reserved for. That's just innate to Canvas. Whatever you type in there is going to get the heading 1 applied to it, the heading style 1 applied to it. So what I can do is I'm just going to go ahead and copy this content or this title right here. I'm going to cut it out of there and paste it right into the header 1. Now we see that there's a couple other, now I have just the main content, the main reading that's going to happen on this page, right? But I need to structure it so that everything follows sequentially in order. And I like to think of it as sort of like establishing a hierarchy, much like a Roman outline does. So if I highlight cleaning, right, that first topic, I can actually come over here to this dropdown, and because I'm going from a header 1, the next header that I have has to be a header 2 if I'm establishing a hierarchy. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight cleaning, and I'm going to select heading 2, and now that is a heading 2, right? And because it follows sequentially right after the header 1, that's a good sign. Now there's a couple other things that I need to look at the page. In addition to the header 2 of cleaning, is there anything else that is on that same level in terms of reading? Right, so what I would need to do is, I also know that Space Cadet is at that same level. Now this subheader here, Soup Bowls, is kind of stuck underneath cleaning, right? It is a sub-element underneath cleaning, so I don't need to worry about that one yet. But Space Cadet is an entirely new topic, making it also a heading 2, right? Because it's at the same level as the first heading of cleaning. So I'm just going to go ahead and highlight that and make that a heading style 2 as well. And you'll notice the reason that we're trying to set it up this way is because visually, I'm able to look at the page and jump to the various things that I need to read. So if I've already read cleaning, I can just automatically go to the Space Cadet section and read out all the content in there. So what we're trying to do is set it up for individuals using a screen reader to do the same thing so that they can jump around the page and get to the content that they need. And by setting up the page this way, it helps them navigate it. Without this, it's not that easy, right? So that's why we're going over this structure. So now let me go ahead and look at the page once again. And we know that this content right here, Matt frequently gets in trouble due to inadequately cleaning various household objects, right? So that actually is just paragraph text, right? That's just content underneath cleaning that sort of explains the cleaning section a little further. But Soup Bowls is a sub-element of cleaning that actually defines another subsection within cleaning. So now I can come here, and I'm actually going to make that a heading 3, right? So now this heading 3 follows sequentially under the heading 2, which follows under the heading 1, and that is how you want to structure it so that it is accessible, right? The screen reader can differentiate between these various levels, and that helps an individual navigate the page who's using the screen reading software. Now, after having Vietnamese pho, Matt often has difficulty cleaning the oily residue off of the bowls. So that is the content of soup bowls of that subsection. So it is important to establish your heading styles when creating an accessible page and making sure that they follow in the proper sequential format. I hope this has been informative and you've learned a little bit more about creating accessible content in Canvas. Talk to you later.